Brant Worley here. Hey, listen, it is what it is. I have not been keeping myself accountable and making videos like I should be. Hey, but that is okay because this is going to be the single greatest video in Brant Worley history. Today is 1 month in the gym. That means we're going to be doing a physique reveal, update, starting point. I wish I would have taken some photos of like day one, but I didn't. I don't know. I've had a lot of day ones, if you will. And this has definitely been the longest one in years, at least. Longest one I can remember, you know, not just gym, but just, you know, I'm rambling. Anyways, so I'm going to give you some stats, and then hopefully there's going to be some editing. Brant Worley from the future here. Quick interjection. If you are faint of heart or just do not enjoy looking at obese people, you can look away. You can turn away the video now. Perfectly fine. Won't offend me. But I am wearing underwear akin to to stage attire for these poses. I wanted it to be as revealing and as authentic as possible. So I'm gonna just kind of slide them across the screen. And you may have to rotate your video for this, unfortunately, or maybe I'll figure out a way to where you won't. Who knows? But I hit a back double bi, side chest. Tried to hit a lat spread, front double bicep, and I think that's just about all of them. I think. My best pose is either my lat spread or the back double bi. My back muscles seem to be my most defined, most revealed. I seem to carry most of my fat on the front of my body and in my legs. So even though I have a lot of muscle in my legs, you really can't see a whole lot of definition in them, even as I'm flexing them as hard as I can. And maybe I don't have a good things. I've got too much fat for you to be able to see most of the muscles on the front of my body. So like my obliques, abs are actually quite developed, but they're just under a lot of fat. But my worst muscle, I would definitely say, is my chest. I don't really I think it's just a genetic thing, and I'll never be able to have like a really amazing one. But I'm not upset about that because I have some other body parts that are naturally pretty good too, I'd say. I've always been told I have good shoulders growing up, good triceps, and then my legs are much bigger than most people who don't, or my legs are bigger than people that train. Like a good amount of guys I see that are clearly have been in the gym for quite a while, I'll have much bigger, not hamstrings, but quads. My quads are very, very big. So, you know, I have some positive things and some negative things. If anybody has any suggestions, would really appreciate it. If anybody could get this video to Coach Greg. Coach Greg, you are my inspiration, not my inspiration, but you are my adopted life coach at this point. Really, I appreciate your content. It's helped me a lot so far, and I'm sure the more I dive into it, the more I'm going to learn. And maybe I'll get a natty or not done on me. Maybe I'll be so good naturally that they'll have to make a natty or not on me one day. And that leads me to say the next thing I'm going to do is get some blood work done, and then I'm going to do a full panel, and we can go over all of it, and maybe hopefully a blood specialist will watch the video and maybe give me some insights. I know the last time I had my blood work done, my testosterone was like it was in the 350 range, which I think most people would say is low. So maybe that's why. Another thing I forgot to mention in the video I've already recorded would be some of my previous medical history. So I had a tumor on my pituitary gland. I went through precocious puberty at the age of 9 or 10, 5th grade, maybe 11. Either way, I was about 3 or 4 years ahead of schedule. I want to say I was 9. And then I underwent like hormone therapy of some sort to try to suppress the tumor. Hopefully it wouldn't grow anymore, and then I get too big and die, or it would either that or it would stop growing, and then I'd be tiny, I think was the thought process. So basically I was on Lupron injections, which is a hormone suppressant. They give it to people. It's like a drug for chemical castration. I'm sure they weren't giving it to me in that high of doses, but who knows. I do remember my testosterone at that time, before I started taking injections at the age of 9 or 10, was like 1450. And that's when they made the decision to put me on that. And then I guess I never heard, I don't think I ever got my testosterone tested again until I got it tested a couple years ago. It was a couple years ago at this point, and that was about post maybe one and a half years post a significant, maybe 2 or 3 years post a significant testicle injury. Me and my friend were wrestling. I got long story, but I got one of my members smashed up a little bit. So don't know if it's at full function. All I know is maybe a little tired, but who doesn't get tired? I don't know. We'll see on the next test. Maybe it's gone up a lot. Maybe I'll get on HRT and then, but see, that's the thing. So if I show my blood work and I thought I heard somebody walk around my car or some shit, I don't know. If we're outside the normal range and then we get on a testosterone replacement or a hormone replacement therapy, I'm not natural anymore, right? So, but I don't know. From what I've heard from Greg, I look at myself and I'm like, compared to a lot of the images you'll see on transformations, like my starting point honestly looks a lot better than a good amount of people. So, like, is it just okay for me to have low testosterone if it works? That's what Greg says. Anyways, that's Brant from the future. Wrapping it up. Don't want to make this thing too long. I will get y'all back to the scheduled content and a peace. So, first things first, I want to go over some stats, I guess. Training notes, if you will. So these are going to be my best lifts for now. I will say I'm probably going to start bringing a notepad to the gym so I can start writing these things down. But when I'm doing a set, I don't really count. I'm just trying to lift the weight, and I have a rough idea of what I'm lifting, but I don't know. Just not a priority for me, but I'm going to try to be better about it. So for now, bench press, and this was done on incline, so is what it is. But 175 for 4. Squats, we're doing 255 for 4. And then my other, I would say, best lift is shoulder press, seated barbell shoulder press, which I'm doing 115 for 4. And then I can do unweighted dips I can do 15 consecutively, about 14, 15. And then pull-ups, I can do about 1. That is not one of my more impressive lifts. I just wanted to throw that out there just to kind of tell y'all where I'm at. I don't know why. Maybe I just don't, I'm not doing the grip right. I don't know. I just can't do the pull-ups very well. All of those are going to be conservative estimates. Like, if anything, I rounded down on those lifts on the weight and reps. Like, I'm pretty sure squat was 265, but I'm not sure. And then shoulder press, same thing. I think it was 220. Bench, I think that's accurate. Honestly, maybe even a little less. Maybe that one I could have been more conservative on. Oh well. And then we've been tracking weight for 1 week now. Tomorrow will be day 8. We're weighing ourselves every day in the morning, like 9 a.m. That keeps it consistent, and you want to weigh yourself in the morning so that you're not weighing, food that you've eaten throughout the day and water that you've drank. So usually by the time you wake up, everything's been processed, metabolized for the most part. If you go pee, go number 2, that should be the most accurate weight. So we started the week at 206.6 with a BMI of 29.6. And then we ended the week at, the day before, so day 6 we were 201.2, and then we ate Taco Bell at midnight because we hadn't eaten enough that day, so I needed something. Probably wasn't the best option, but Taco Bell actually doesn't have horrible macros if you order right. Regardless, 201.2, but then that morning weigh-in we were 203.5. Probably some of that was the Taco Bell. Regardless, so I think personally that weight kind of hard to, the more data we have, that number won't matter as much, like the eating the Taco Bell the night. But since it's only a week sample, I'd love to throw it out, but I didn't. And then for BMI, we started at 29.6, and then on the day 6, 28.8, and then 29.3 after the Taco Bell incident, which, not an incident, I'll explain why. So the median weight, and that was for all 7 days, was 203.7, and then the BMI median BMI was 29.1. So that was a 2.9 weight loss for the week, 2.9 pound weight loss. That's the only math system I know, unfortunately. Maybe one day if we can get an editor, he'll be able to flash up what that is in kilos. But you'll just have to do the calculations on your own for now. And then we lost one. So if I did my math right, which I'm not positive I did because I just used the median weight, which I'm sure this isn't 1,000% accurate, but based off of my BMI, the median loss in BMI, we lost about from day 1 in the median, which is that's kind of like that's what you are just about as compared to the start of the week, or that's, I guess, day, whatever you want to call it. We lost 1 pound of fat, and then the other 1.9 pounds I'm assuming was water. I've been getting stronger, so I don't think I lost any muscle in the process. And then the nutrition game plan, we're not dieting, we're just going to track calories. We've been doing so for 17 days, and I'm sure I'm not tracking it 100% accurate because I don't think it's possible. We haven't gone over our calorie limit, which is 2,500. I'm 5'11". I'm 5'10", and 3/4, 5'11", 5'10" and 3/4, whatever you want to call it, to 203.7 pounds. So 2,500. I don't know if it's if it's enough to main gain, which is what I'm trying to do. Not main gain. I guess main gain, if that makes sense. Just maintain my weight almost as steady as possible while losing. You know, like, a pound a week is really what I'm going for. So it may be the perfect amount. I'm not sure though. Maybe if this gets out to a dietitian, he could tell me a better game plan for the diet. But for now, that's what we're doing. So it's eat whatever you want as long as you stay under that 2,500 limit. And I mean, I've gotten within, usually get within, by the end of the day, I try to get within 250 calories of that. And I've gotten within 40, 30, 20 of getting past that. So, but I'd say the median, and then I've gone days where I'm 700 below. So I'd say the median is probably close to 2,500 calorie deficit of the 250 calorie deficit. So 10% deficit, I'd say, is the median. Maybe I should have looked at that, but like I said, I'm not tracking 100% accurate because, for example, I'll eat lunch. Lunch is, usually 700 calories, and then dinner, I get stuck at a restaurant with some people, or I go get something fast food wise, and I don't really want to weigh it all out. So I know that I'm ordering less than X amount of calories, and then I usually don't fill it out. Anyway, so those were the notes. I really couldn't think of anything else interesting. Like I said, I'll start incorporating tracking my lifts so that we can get an accurate measurement of strength progression, and also for progressive overload purposes, which is an extremely important principle that you need to be applying. That's pretty much like number one.